everybody, this is Altamir, and today in this video we are going to be going over a forum post that Matt Firor left in the Elder Scrolls Online forums talking about the Update 45 purchasing clarification and just letting us know about the recent network attacks, kind of continuing their ongoing improvement of communication. And I will say, so far so good, but let's just get into this right now because there was a lot of confusion over how the new things is going to work, and this actually also clarified what's going on with 2025. So let's just get into it. All right, everybody, just a few quick updates to concerns from the community over the weekend. First, in the Update 45 preview article, which we published to support the preview live stream, we told everybody that the new dungeons would be available for ESO Plus members, but it didn't list the other ways that it will be available. We apologize for the confusion and want to provide more of an explanation of what's going on. Because 2025 is a transition year between the old chapter model and our new model of evolution for ESO. This year, 2025, will have some aspects of chapters and some of the new cadence. Next year, 2026, we will fully implement the new model, which we will talk about more this April. Again, that's a mistake. You've already had to, let me finish this paragraph and I'll say what I'm thinking now. For now, please know that you will be able to purchase the Update 45 dungeon using crowns plus other ways, as well as access through ESO Plus membership. Due to the aforementioned transition, Update 45 dungeons will be available for purchase in the Crown Store after Update 45 console launch. So I guess when it launches on PC, it won't be available for crowns yet, but it's only available for crown in the Crown Store after console launch. But this is why we need more information. I don't understand, even in some of the messages that some other community managers have put out, or whatever they're calling themselves now. Gina, and if you had noticed from the live stream, Gina and Jess they aren't community managers anymore, but they had to run it up the chain and da-da-da-da and all this stuff, and like, why can't you talk about it? You've already had to do yet another post clarifying what's going on. You've already had to answer so many questions about, about what's been going on. And we just want to know. We don't want to know what we're getting into. We want to know where our money is going, and that's not exactly insane to ask. I'm not going to walk into a Home Depot and just throw money at the cashier and be like, go get something for me. No, I'm going to go in there because I need something that I'm looking for. And I want to, it's so stupid. It's just a mistake. Anyway, and this too here. So this tells me, this little thing here tells me that this decision to change the cadence was very sudden. And I think it had a combination of, there was a lot of feedback that although 2023 worked really well, and I personally think it did, 2024 did not. And a lot of players wanted the cadence and to have more content. So Kevin, I believe, on the forums took note of that and shot it up the chain. And that in combo with them unionizing probably at some point. I mean, they announced it in December, so it probably happened a long time before that. And I think that's the reason why things changed. But I think it changed suddenly, which is why it's like, hey, they already planned 2025 to be probably Q1 dungeon, Q2 chapter, Q3 some little thing, and then Q4 system. I really do feel like up until probably September 2024, they planned on 2025 being another chapter year in the cadence that they were doing as of 2023. but it changed due to that and unionizing and probably other factors, which is why they gave us an in-person event and then suddenly it was canceled, you know. Okay, so let's continue on here. Additionally, I've seen the commentary over the weekend about server stability, lag spikes, and players being put into queues after being disconnected. As all of you know, this has been a far too often occurrence. No shit. We have been very vague about addressing it, which is again, mistake. There are reasons for this, but because network and server stability has been a concern for many of you for a long time, here is what's been happening. Our simple rule is that if a server or other game issue happens due to a bug or other configuration problem within our control, we will tell the community. But maybe now, but in the past you kind of didn't. What is happening and what we are doing to fix it. I will say recently they have been doing that. Before, kind of a 50-50 shot of whether or not they do that. The recent data center power outage as an example of this, which what they did, they communicated every step of the way for that. I applaud them for that. However, if a problem happens that we cannot control, like a partner's network is having problems, or if there is a malicious network attack against us, we usually do not post about it. Recently, especially over the last year, we have had a rising number of malicious network attacks against the ESO service. These mostly fall under the DDoS type of attack. When these happen, depending on the type of attack, we will initiate a mitigation strategy. I'm not going to get into what exactly we do to counter these, but each time the ESO service is under attack, players on the service experience lag, disconnects, etc. We have different types of mitigations to combat this, and some do a great job of protecting the service from DDoS traffic, but they can also introduce additional ping times when they are active, like many of you have been reporting. Malicious network attacks are unfortunately part and parcel of running an online service, and the methods of attack are constantly evolving. Despite this, we will always strive to find the best mitigation strategy that has the least impact on player moment-to-moment gameplay. Part of why we have not publicly addressed this sooner is because by even just talking about those malicious network attacks against ESO, we run the risk of incurring more of them. This is why the standard playbook for internet companies is to not talk about them publicly. But this is the information that I think you all need to know, which we did. We did need to know that. And maybe this does explain a lot, you know, and first of all, it really, I do wonder after reading that how many times we have all got on ZOS about lag, and not in PvP but just PvE, like disconnects and all that, when it was actually a DDoS attack. Or even worse, let's say it was PvP related. How many of them were related when we're just like, oh, PvP again, when it's like, well, PvP, and they also had someone attack them. So I kind of see why they wouldn't exactly tell us about kind of like that, because it does give them a sense of power if you do publicly acknowledge that. But I do like that he actually talked about it, because it let us know. All we want is information. Good or bad, we just want to know, what's happening, because nothing that you can tell us is going to be any worse than any sort of player can think of. And that's ZeniMax's worst nightmare when it comes to stuff like this, is letting everybody's mind run wild. And this helps with that. Even with this, it's like, okay, so you guys decided at the last minute, for whatever reason, to change your cadence. You said chapters aren't working. Fans want more content. We can't go back to doing year-long stories because we decided that wasn't a great idea, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the reason. Now you're like, well, shit. I gotta change. We gotta change now. Well, it's, August or September. What are we gonna do? We got a lot of work ahead of us. We got to cancel the event. Unfortunately, we got to just go. I still think we need more information though. Even just about Q1. You read the patch notes. You've seen what's going on. Q1 was typically the combat update, and now it's not. So what's happening with that? What's happening with combat? What's happening with the class changes we need? What's happening with adjustments to battlegrounds that we need? What's happening with all that? Is that getting spread out through the year? Is that getting changed to a different update? Is that, I mean, what's, is that put into a season? Like, we need to know. Being vague is not helping you, but this is a step, and it is a step, I think, in the right direction. It's still vague, but it is a step in communication, which they've said they've wanted to improve. So I'll applaud you for that, Sauce. Thank you. But you have a long way to go, I think, this year anyway. I don't know if people are gonna wait till April. I mean, it's just honestly the way that things are now. There's just a lot of games coming out. Even, I've said it before. Just in this particular genre of fantasy, there's just so many games that are already out and are coming out that will draw people to them. And are people gonna wait to find out information about about a game or a company that they're already frustrated with? I don't know. Especially when budgets are tighter. People are trying to decide where their money's going. I don't know. It's a gamble. We'll have to see if it pays off. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. I would appreciate you. Thank you. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.